through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading.
I might as well go here. I ain't doing anything. Let me just get everything set up. Morning, Victor. Morning, Chris. Let me get everything set up. I will start this off with, I am dealing with power surges, power outages, because of the storm. So if I seem to just go off air, that's the reason. So, delete. There we go. Happy Friday. Morning, Donnie and Mike. Okay, let's get to some scanners. I know I'm late. It's a fun morning. The storm, there was nothing. I mean, there was literally, if you're in the Atlanta area, maybe some flooding. But other than that, I haven't, my yard has receded. I usually have a super amount of rain. No, I don't have a generator. Morning, Mark. Yeah, I don't have a generator. I've never. Here's my take on power, Chris. I think it's a luxury of current human society. I think it's needed by some, a luxury for others, and for me, it's a luxury. Not, if I lose power, am I, is my life in danger? Nah. I go camping out in the woods enough without power that I don't think my life is in danger. And I'm lucky in that sense. But it's a luxury. So a generator for me is kind of like, my brother has one of those Generac, the big ones, at his beach house because the beach, you lose power a lot. So it makes sense down there. But for me here in Atlanta, I think I've gone 7 days without power before. I did go, I will tell you. I moved to Florida in 2004, St. Augustine. And it was March 2004 I moved. That summer, we went through 4 hurricanes. I was in charge of the cable company down there, the marketing for the cable company. And it was Time Warner. And I think one hurricane that came through, 75-80% of our plant was on the ground. And so we had to call in, everybody from around the country with Time Warner to come and put the plant back up and blah, blah, blah. And the plant means all the wires that are on the telephone poles and stuff. And I went 7 days in August in Florida with the humidity, with no air conditioning. Now, I'll tell you by day 5, and there was no food or water, and that was kind of a situation where you had to rely on other people, because after 3 days, if you didn't prepare, it got a little tough. It did get tough, but I've gotten 7 days here in Atlanta without it. It's an inconvenience in my mind. Yeah, I looked at getting solar for this house. I guess about 5-10 years ago. My house is 13 years old. I built it, so it's I didn't build it, but it's in a new neighborhood. I was the one that put it up there. So, but I looked at getting solar. And it was a while back. It was going to be, I want to say $25,000, $30,000 out of pocket with 2 batteries. And it was going to cost me $25,000, $30,000. It would have been worth it looking back, but I wasn't sure how long I was going to stay here. And there were a lot of issues. So, but, overall, if I have to live somewhere, I'll just go in the car. I can live in my car for a few days. Dogs will enjoy it. They love the car. So, I think there's still flooding here, but they're talking about these swift water rescues in blow up freaking boats. I mean, the boats that they're using are like blow up mattresses at Walmart, and they're taking people 10 or 15 feet. I don't know who these people are that need to be shoveled 10 or 15 feet in water. Hymns. Let's see. Erectile dysfunction. Let's see. It's up 1.24%. It's got a good run. The only thing with hymns, and the only thing I ever bring up, there's one guy, I forget what his symbol is on the monstrative or something. I forget, but he's on Spaces with me all the time. This is one of his big ones, and I just go to the valuation. They're not making money. Their PE for the gap for trailing 12 months is 216. I think it's a marketing company. I don't think it's a healthcare company. I think they market compound drugs, and I think they do a very good job of it. Because their profitability, their gross margin is fantastic. Their growth, fantastic. Their momentum, fantastic. Now, there's 9 analysts that kind of cover this one. 5 of them brought earnings up, earnings per share up, 4 down in the last 90 days, 13. Everybody thinks that the revenue is going to go up. I think we're in a GLP-1 market, and I think HIMSS is part of that. I just would hate for you to think that this is, anything more than kind of a hype up to the 25 level. I think you'll hit 25 again. Look, the MACD reset itself down there. The RSI is at 53. If it had it in there before during a pump, I think it'll have it in there again. Yeah, and if they become profitable, look for it to get over 25. I mean, honest to God, if they become profitable. And I think that's a number one goal of theirs. Look for that one to get over 25. I don't think it's a bad one, Steph. I'm not condemning this one whatsoever. It just doesn't fit my investment profile. So, and that's essentially it. For me, this would be a trade until they make money. Once they start making money, then I could look at this one as something else. And I don't have to trade everything that this might be a trade that in my day trading days or my swing trading days, I might look at. But right now, I had a meeting with, it was funny. I had a meeting last night with these guys. What's their names? I think it's Longwood Capital or something. I didn't write it down. But the guys were awesome. And they tuned into my podcast. And it was funny because it was about them managing some of my money. And it's because I have this podcast, I'm not doing a very good job of managing that portfolio. And I know it can do much more than what I'm currently doing, but I do the podcast every morning, and I like doing the podcast. And it's not, hey, feel sorry for me. But I am looking at somebody managing that money. And it's not, hey, they're not making trades for me. It's basically using an option strategy to keep my portfolio in play and just earn some income from it. And that's what I'm essentially looking for, because I just don't have the time to do that. And I've got a large portfolio, and it should be making me money versus just sitting there and earning the growth portion of it. There should be some option plays and tax strategies around that. And so I'm looking at organizations that can help me do that. And FYI, it's Fidelity that's guiding all of these people to come in and I interview. But they were listening to the podcast. They're like, it's obvious you know what you're talking about. I'm like, nah, I'm dumb when it comes to this stuff. Trust me. I just sound like I know what I'm talking about. But I do know that, and the number one thing that I always say, Steph, have a strategy and stick to it. And make sure you understand, you have your elevator pitch for all of your stocks and stuff. I did it yesterday. Just did it yesterday. So it helps you out when you're going in and you're interviewing these people or you're meeting with financial advisors and stuff like that. Like, for instance, if somebody came to you and said, you have 35 positions, why is HIMS one of them? And first off, I would say, why do you have 35 positions? But, yeah, Mike, there's a couple of things. I mean, I've been pretty open about how much money I made on the podcast. I didn't expect to make that money. So I've got to do some tax strategies with that. So I'm hiring somebody there. I'm hiring most of the way that the reason why I'm hiring people is just I enjoy doing this. I know this is what I want to do. And so I need somebody to do the things that I was doing, because I want to enjoy my time. So I try and talk about stuff that I do here pretty regularly. Morning, Troy. Okay, I'm gonna hit record now, I think. Well, let me open up these links. This is interesting. I thought Charlie posted this one really well. You can go, this is the, over the last year, Cocoa is up 127. You can Google Cocoa ETF. So I thought that was a good one. This is Costco's revenue year over year. This is why, as you can see, 19 billion to 20 billion to 23 billion, the percentage of these growth is bigger. But as it gets bigger, $1 billion becomes less of a percentage. And Wall Street wants to see a percentage. So we're going to go over that. Costco was a mixed bag. It's down. It's below 900. I don't know that that's enough for me, but it is what it is. Meta's Connect brings one step closer to AI company. I think it's an AI company at this point. And that's pointing it out, and we'll kind of go over that. NVIDIA bull and bear case summarized. This is NVIDIA by Zuck. Dell moved to a strong buy. I'm going to bring up this Motley Fool. I can show Motley Fool because I'm not an affiliate of Motley Fool. There we go. They can send me a cease and desist letter. I don't freaking care. Wells Fargo was a big winner yesterday. I got to pull this one up. Vital review in process to end asset cap. This was what brought it up. I don't fully understand this, but I think it's just a matter of them cleaning stuff up. And so I think for me, I'm happy holding this stock. I think it's going to 60. We'll look at the chart. SMCI, we will go over it. This paragraph right here sums it up for anybody that's dumb like me. I'm also going to show this because this is Alpha Picks, and I think it's important because I think some people are Alpha Picks. I will read it. We're going to look at, there was a bunch of, yesterday, David Tepper was on CNBC, and I mean, it was a masterclass on, hey, he saw some stuff and he's going to post some, he basically, when the second the Fed reduced rates, he said he went all in on China because he said there was no way that China wasn't going to do something. And you take it back to 2010, where he was telling you, buy everything. And he was 100% right. 100% right. So I think it's something to look into. Bitcoin got over $65,000 yesterday. Here's a reminder for anybody that follows the bears on 131.23. Sell. And we're going to look at VOO and QQQ. Oh, and I wanted to look up Frankie, the weather guy, to see if he has hurricane updates. Frankie McDonald, let's see if he has any hurricane updates.
Okay, guys, let's do some stuff.
This is Frankie McDonald, my own TV station live in Nova Scotia.
Okay. No, we want to see if he has any hurricane updates. Okay.
I mean, it's crazy to think about it. Like, it used to cost millions to advertise on TV, and now...
Hey everyone, let's do an earthquake siren.
I love this kid. Yeah, okay, here's his update.
Buy on blue, sell on red. This new indicator gives extremely accurate trade signals.
I love this kid. Okay. We're going to start out with a weather update from Frankie. I love him. He's got so much energy. Okay. I'm going to hit record. We're going to start doing this. Good morning. It is Friday, September 27th. I am dealing with power outages, power surges, other things that kept me kind of from getting on the air a little bit at 8:30. So if it's delayed, if it's not at your appropriate time, we have a weather update from Frankie here.
This is Frankie McDonald to my own TV station live in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Massive rainstorm is headed towards Georgia on Thursday, September 26, 2024.
Frankie told us.
It's going to bring up to...
Frankie told us.
150 plus
million. I love
million.
this kid. Frankie is the weather kid. I love that kid. I love his energy. But where are we on the Qs? We were up yesterday morning. The morning candle was down 1.24, but the afternoon was up 0.45. We kept confirmation. Okay, we kept confirmation. That's the key. The key point is we kept confirmation. We're continuing to climb up. Now, what I want to do is I want to look at, since Monday is the last day of trading day of September, let's look back at how we've done. 11 out of I think it's 10 out of the last 11 months, we've been up. So if you take a look at just the monthly candle of this one, and we go and look at the monthly candle, what's the monthly candle? So far, we're up 3.44% in the month of September. You opened at 473. Yesterday we closed at 489. That's huge. August, we were only up 1%. September, huge month. Take a look at the Qs in September. It's never done that well before. So am I a little bit nervous about Friday? A little bit, but jobs numbers came out. PCE came out. It was strong. Markets are up in pre-market. So you never know exactly what's going to happen. That's why I think I wrote it yesterday in the newsletter that you want to make sure that when I say I'm 90% in the market, you don't focus that I'm 5% out of the market. You focus that I'm 90% in the market. The glass is always half full, not half empty. It will change your life when you go to a positive outlook like that. VOO. If we go and look at a monthly of VOO, we can look at a monthly of SPY as well. We can look at VOO here. The monthly candle today, it is up 2.24%. You opened up at 515, and today you closed yesterday at 526. You're there right now, 526.96. In fact, we just opened up. So that's where you're right now. You're up 2.23%. SPY, again, These were seasonally low months. October starts the beginning of a pretty strong, healthy October, November, and December in most of these indexes. SPY on the monthly, you opened up at 560. You're right now at 575. That's up 2.32%. That's really good. That's excellent. Excellent. It's a good, again, 90% invested. I'm still participating. I'm just waiting on the sidelines for that 5% that I took out. Some of these, I may start to sell some of my winners as well. We're at all-time highs. Doesn't make sense to hold on to everything. Now, when you look at things, take a look at the bears here. This is Michael Burry. If you don't know Michael Burry, go watch The Big Short. He called the last one recession out of the last 40, according to him. He's been a bear, and he's constantly telling you to sell. On 131.23, he's told everybody to sell. SPY is up 40% since that tweet. 40%. It's not like he sold. Maybe he was short in the market. You never know somebody's intention when they tell you things. I got a question from a friend yesterday. Hey, I saw strange, unusual options. Do you ever trade on that? By the time you see an unusual options play in the news, it's done. It's priced in the market. So be careful out there. Again, you want to be in this market. Time in the market beats timing the market. So make sure you're just managing your portfolio correctly. I'm going to talk about on the paid newsletter this weekend. I'm going to talk about some of this additional strategies, some educational stuff. I'll do a video. But one of the things I'm going to talk about is concentration in your portfolio. I had a good discussion, I think it was on Wednesday on Spaces, about how Apple is such a large portion. And financial analysts on there, they were blowing themselves up. It's just irresponsible to have that much Apple in your portfolio. Well, you know what? It's worked out for me. It's not like I put a ton more money into it. I do reinvest my dividends, and it continues to compound. Yes, I've had 40% drawdowns in this stuff, but it hasn't hurt over time. Okay? It's just something that you do. Again, don't listen to douches like that. Now, David Tepper was on CNBC yesterday. This is a clip from 2010. I'm not going to play it, but in 2010, he was on CNBC and he said, buy everything. Watch this clip, okay? Transfer it to today. Because yesterday, he was on air saying when the Fed actually reduced rates, he went all in on China. He went all in on China. Now, I'm not telling you to go all in on China. I'm telling you that it deserves some attention. When somebody says something like this, and they've been right in the past. Michael Burry called one recession. You listen to him, but you take a look at the charts. The charts will tell you where we're going. Does this chart look like we're going into a recession? If you look at 123, January 23rd, right here, this is the candle. Let me put a little mark there, okay, on the monthly candle of where he called the recession. He said sell right there. He said sell right there. Does that make sense? No. For a long-term investor, it doesn't make sense. For a short-term investor, maybe. Michael Burry, I would argue, is not a short-term investor. He is simply putting things out there to try and manipulate the market. And he knows it will manipulate the market. David Tepper, he can't do things to manipulate the market. He's got a hedge fund. He's slightly more restrictive. He is more private than Michael Burry. I like David Tepper. I think horrible football owner. He owns the Charlotte Panthers. Horrible owner. Horrible. But great investor. He's really, really good. So I like him, and I included a couple more clips in the newsletter. I will include it. Japan's going too fast if they really stimulate there, says David Tepper. When Japan runs too fast, they're going to have to raise rates, and when they raise rates, the yen's going to appreciate. And if the yen appreciates, then you have to be careful about the stock market. He's warning us. He's warning us that when Japan raises, you have to be worried about the stock market. We sold a lot of our NVIDIA, but the stock we thought was too high at the time. Those stocks like NVIDIA is a question. Do you have enough power for the growth? Do you have the next generation models that can take their chip? I just don't know. I just don't know how you know. And so he sold a lot of his NVIDIA for that reason. He didn't know. And so he sold his NVIDIA. I'm not saying that's a mistake because nobody knows. The market will tell you if that was a mistake. But right now, it doesn't look like it was a mistake. I can tell you the valuation of NVIDIA looks good. David Tepper might be wrong. Now, let's talk about something the market didn't know. The market didn't know that SMCI was going to be up on being investigated by the Department of Justice probe. Now, this is the AlphaPix article. You can go and read it if you're in AlphaPix. I won't post that one. I will read you what AlphaPix said. Shares of the stock experienced a 12% pullback following the announcement of a Justice Department probe. The probe appears to be connected to the short seller report published in August. We already knew that this stuff was out there. So AlphaPix wants to emphasize that the DOJ probe is not the same as an investigation. A probe typically indicates a preliminary inquiry to assess whether there are adequate grounds for initiating a formal investigation. That's what they said. That's what Seeking Alpha said. Now, to put it into dummy terms, this is Flowtopia. I think he did the best thing. SMCI, let's put it into down for 10-year-olds. SMCI operates a lemonade stand. Sales weren't doing so hot, but they really needed investors. Instead of filing poor earnings, SMCI brought in their own lemonade with the company's money. Then they put the same lemonade back into the company's supply. Sales go up, supply stays constant. On paper, the company has great earnings. Somewhat similar to what Ryan, if for the Office fans, did when Dunder Mifflin launched an online store. This is the third time SMCI has had accounting regularities and the second major DOJ investigation. It's a probe, not an investigation. That's where he got it wrong. Do not try to trade it. Just wait for the 10K filing. I've been saying, I don't care. If you want to time this thing, you can try and time it. You can try and look into getting this one. It's up 2% today at 410. I have said this before. Any reaction in the market is an overreaction. But we haven't broken that trend line down. And so do I think that we've broke? Look at this. I mean, if you just go with a trend line on SMCI on a 4-hour from the top there, sure, it got great over here. But we touched that trend line. And then you touch that trend line again. And then yesterday, ironically, you touched the freaking trend line. And so next time when you get the actual investigation, you may be down here at 350. You may be at 300. We can go to look at a weekly of this one. It is below the 9-day. So I would urge you, I am holding on to profits. If this goes to zero, then I just lost my profits. I didn't lose any of my capital. So the key point is, if you're sitting on this one and it's keeping you up at night, try and trade around it if you want. But I would urge you, do not put more money into this until that 10K comes out. That would be my strategy if I'm sitting on losses. Do not try and dollar cost average. Your two choices are sitting and holding until that 10K comes out, or just get out with the loss, one or the other. If you want to stay in, that's your choice. I am staying in because I have profits. I don't care if it goes to zero. I have profits. I was identifying this range right here, all the way from May 2023. I was identifying that range as the range that I liked. Once it got to that 300 level, and it got to that 300 level in after hours during this earnings, when it popped up here, it got to the 350 level in this after hours on those earnings. The earnings were pumping this one through a full year. And then you got this move up. And then all of a sudden you've gotten, hey, our margins are bad. We're being investigated, blah, blah, blah. It's a mess of a stock. I do believe if they didn't do this, which again, they've done it in the past. They've done things like this in the past. So, even on my spaces on Wednesday, Simon from 7 Investing, he brought it up. Yeah, the board, this is 3 brothers, and one brother owns a supplier that supplies SMCI. Are they creating some funny numbers? Maybe. But it's one that they like. And SMCI, again, a lot of people have investigated this. A lot of people have looked into it. There's some shell games going on. But I think this tweet sums it up perfectly. It is exact. And if you don't know, go and Google the Ryan in the office when Dunder Mifflin launched an online store. Watch that episode. Just watch that episode. It's fun. It's fun, but it's exactly what's going on. So I think that sums it up. Now, I hold Wells Fargo. I've been saying that the banks are good. Wells Fargo, it was up huge yesterday. It's down a little bit. Again, with that kind of reaction, I think it was up 4 or 5% yesterday. With that kind of reaction, it's going to be up. Submits vital review in process to end asset cap. This is part of putting this bank back together. Part of the reason why I like it is because they're putting that bank debt back together. Now, when you look at Wall Street, 25 analysts have watched this stock. Okay, power outage has gotten to me. The average price target from Wall Street is 63. That's 12% above where you are today. Okay, the quant says it's a hold. Why does it say it's a hold? Well, the valuation is a C+. It's not great. It's not great. Price to book, 1.2. Sector is 1.23. So you're trading below that. Forward price to book is below what the book value is. You know, your momentum, it's a C+. It's not doing great in the short term. It's doing well in the long term. 1 year performance, you're up 38%. But the short term, you're down 1% in the last 3 months. So profitability, it's doing great. You know, they're going to turn a profit. Again, this is a bank on a rebound. I think it's a good company. If you want to take a look at it in the 4-hour algorithm, we can go over here. I don't trade this one on the 4-hour algorithm, but I will tell you the 4-hour algorithm makes you 48% over 24 months. If you bought and held this one like I did, you made 29% over the last 24 months. I was screaming that this one under $30, anytime you were under $30, you were buying this one. Okay, and this goes back a long way. So I have held this for a very long time. Probably since October 2023, even before that, probably 2022. Anything under, I think it may have been $40. It was under 40. Anything under $40, I was buying. And I was buying multiple times across this entire time period. Have I sold? No. $60 is where I want to sell. I have a small position. I have trimmed it multiple times. I haven't added to it. I think I want to add to it. You know, if it gets down to 55, I think I want to add to it. I might trade this one. But this is very similar to Citi. Citi's in a rebound as well. And when you look at this one, again, Citi, you make 45% on the algorithm versus 30% buying and holding. I should be trading on these on the algorithm. But look, Citi just had a golden cross on the weekly of the 50-day going up on the 200-day. I continue to think that this one is a $70 minimum. Again, you can look at these lines. If we go here and we say, okay, $70, where has it gotten you? Look at how $70. Okay, we're going to put that right at about $70. Let's move it up a little. We'll move it up to 69. Look at that. It rejected off there in January 2021, and it pulled back, and then it shot up to 80, and then it pulled back, and it held this until it didn't. And it shot down. I would argue that 70 is your resistance level, but if you pass 70, you're getting to 80. I don't think buying here at 62 is a bad thing. That's how you trade a stock like Citi. The book value on this one is $90. So if they get even close to turning this one around, until then you trade it. And you make 45% in the 4-hour algorithm. So I think it's positive. My dad, I'm allowed to do this. I am not a seeking or a Motley Fool, affiliate. So I can show you all this stuff, and they can come and yell at me. They can say, hey, cease and desist, whatever. I have a subscription, but here's what it is. Lululemon, the top 10 stocks for September. This is their top 10 stocks. Lululemon. I don't think it's a great one. It was the latest recommendation was 8/15/24. Lululemon, it's probably done decently since then. Let's see, since 8/15. Lululemon in the 4-hour algorithm loses you 5%. Let's see, 8/15. Where was 8/15? We were trading at about 258. You're at 277. Not bad. Not bad. They go over everything right there. PayPal, this is the hidden gem. They recommended this 2/1/24. That's been a good one. I can tell you, I believe 2/1/24. Let's go back to 2/1. Where were you? You were just below 60. Let's move this a little bit. PayPal. I have to load it up. Loading. Done. There we go. 2/1. 2/1. We were at we were at 61, 60. You're at 76 right now. Or I'm sorry, 79 right now. So they did well on that one. When they recommend Wingstop, they recommended that on 9/19. That's their number 3. Apple is number 4. They haven't recommended this one in years. Unity Software, I think that's a mess. I wouldn't get into that one. They recommended that on 9/5. It's a mess. Unity Software. Progressive, Insurance, they recommended that at 824. Roblox, I wouldn't buy Roblox right now, but they recommended that 816.23. I would wait for Roblox to pull back to 40. I think it's going to pull back to 40. You can take a look at Roblox here. It's at 44. It's down 1% today. I think it's going to, it hasn't held the 44. Hasn't held that $44 that did. So I think you're coming back into this range. We can look at the weekly. I think you're coming back into this range. I think you'll be at between 30 and 40, and I think you can buy it again. I like the company. But Roblox is one. DoorDash, not making money. They recommended it on 11/20/23. I will put this list. Paycom, Enphase. I looked at this one. These two particularly I looked at. Okay, Enphase, they recommended on 6/15/23. This is one of their top 10 for September. And we can look at this one. Enphase, it's solar. We can look since, for the month of September. Let's see, you started out September 5th, 4th, 3rd. Let's see, 3rd, you started out, you opened at 118, you're at 115. Let's see when they actually recommended this one, and we can see how it was performing. This one is 6/15/23. So since 6/15/23, let's just go to 6/15/23. That's June 12th, 2023. It was trading at 184. You're at 115 right now. I'm just not a super fan. They give you very kind of mediocre analysis, not like Alpha Picks. And that's the difference between Motley Fool. And yes, again, I read both of them. I like Alpha Picks. Alpha Picks, I think, does the best job. It's the third thing right here, okay? Alpha Picks, the performance of the portfolio, and they track it. You can see year to date. You can see all of that stuff. But again, it's during this time period, July 1st, 2022 to August 8th, 2024, 114% performance. And that's with SMCI. SMCI is no longer the number one Alpha Pick stock as far as gains. They've lost a lot of the gains in that one because they've held it. And they announce it. They basically tell you in yesterday's analysis of SMCI, they say this is why we're still holding it. And they go over the reasons. And I like that about them. They own their portfolio. They own their process. They own their strategy. So you have to pick your strategy. This one is based on fundamentals. And the quant has a proven track record of outperforming the S&P. That's why you get, again, there's two options. You can get Seeking Alpha Premium, which right here, which again, I posted in the newsletter yesterday. I posted in the newsletter that pricing will go up. They're raising prices on Seeking Alpha Premium. October 1st, currently Seeking Alpha Premium is $299 on their website, but my offer gets you $214, okay, for the first year. $214 for the first year. After October 1st, the affiliate price will rise to $269. So save yourself some money. Get Seeking Alpha Premium by October 1st. This is where you do your own research. You can pick the top quant stocks. In fact, that's probably what I'm going to do on the next portfolio that I'm going to track is picking top quant stocks in a particular month and maybe going over that one, creating my own Alpha Picks portfolio. But not only does my audience benefit from the 214 rate if they sign up before October 1st, but the renewal rate will be 239 instead of the 299. So again, if you sign up for Seeking Alpha Premium, that is the second pick here. It's Seeking Alpha Premium. Okay? Your Alpha Picks, they're not doing another rate increase on Alpha Picks. It's $449 for the year. Okay? I save you $50. But again, it depends on, do you want to do your own research? If you do your own research, it's Seeking Alpha Premium. If you want just a hand-picked portfolio that has a proven track record, it's Alpha Picks. Those are the two options. They're on Linktree. Okay? But that's the difference between Motley Fool and Seeking Alpha. I like Seeking Alpha. I really do. Honestly, I just, it's kind of what I use these services. The only reason Motley Fool is there, my dad has a subscription to them. They were great in the early 2000s when he first started subscribing to them. They were great. They were fantastic. I just think they've lost a little step, and I think there's better tools out there. So let's talk about Bitcoin, because Bitcoin crossed 65,000. We talked about it yesterday, how Bitcoin had to hold 65 or break 65,000 to get those highs. We're at 65,479. Pretty good. Pretty good. Again, IBIT, MicroStrategy, that's how I'm playing it. Now, the other thing that I wanted to point out is Dell. Dell is one that I've been holding. Dell is one that I've owned since 113. I didn't buy that when it dipped down below 100. I didn't buy it. I should have absolutely bought it when it dipped below 100. This is one, if you're holding SMCI, I don't know why you don't hold Dell. Dell is the one that's going to disrupt SMCI. Now, Simon from 7 Investing did a great job on Wednesday. He said, when I said, what do you think about SMCI getting beaten up on margin because they can't compete against the Dells and the Hewlett-Packard? He said SMCI has servers that are more energy efficient. So rather than counting dimes on the front end, over the long term, you will save money even if you're waiting an additional month for an SMCI server. So that's how they're going to beat them. But Dell got upgraded from a buy to a strong buy in the quant. When you look at Wall Street, there's 23 analysts that cover this, okay? Their average price target is 145. That's 18% from where you are today. It's down 2%. Take advantage of buying these things on sale. You know, you look at the weekly range of this, Dell got all the way up to 179 in the 52 weeks. It's low, 53. Yeah. If you bought it 53, kudos to you. High five. But I like that one. Now, Mark Zuckerberg, let's talk about why Meta is going to be we're going to look at this one first. Well, you know what? We'll look at NVIDIA. This is an interview with Mark Zuckerberg. This is why NVIDIA has a bull and bear case summarized in 2 minutes. It's very, very simple. You can watch the full interview down here, but this is just 2 minutes. And you can watch why I like NVIDIA so much. You can make up your own mind. It's the bull and bear case of NVIDIA. Now, Meta, on the other hand, I think Meta is going to be an enormous, enormous company. I think it's going to 600. When you take a look at Meta, Meta's Connect showings brings it one step closer to being an AI company. I think that's what Meta is becoming, an AI company. And if you think AI is moving to the next space, I said this yesterday on Spaces. I think them launching the hardware game makes them almost competitive with Apple per se. I think Meta AI is going to be everywhere because think about it. How many of you today go to find ChatGPT specifically? How many of you today go to separate apps to try and find stuff versus the billions of people who go to WhatsApp, who go to Facebook, who go to Instagram? How many of you go to Threads? Again, that's all Meta AI. They're getting your data. They can present to you in AI what you want. I saw a Wall Street Journal article the other day about how a speech company is having to fight off lonely men from using their AI as their girlfriend. They're having to fight that off. You can do that on Meta today. Say you like John Cena. And I said this on Spaces yesterday. How many people, how many lonely women are going to have a romantic relationship with John Cena on Meta's AI? I bet it's a lot. You know, Zuck used to spend $10 billion per quarter to get 30 people to show up to the metaverse. He is spending that money in a way that Wall Street likes now. It's on AI. He loves spending money. So I don't find anybody going outside of an additional app to find AI. I use Gemini, I use Meta, and I use ChatGPT through Microsoft Copilot. Okay, because all of those are absolutely free to me, and they all serve different purposes. With Meta's language models being on those devices that they did, again, John Ives is working with OpenAI on a device. They realize nobody's going off device. Nobody's going to a separate app. The second Apple launches their Apple Intelligence stuff, they are going to own AI on that device. Google is going to own AI on their Android devices. And I've told this story before. I don't usually use Google Maps because I have a Tesla. When I was in Columbus, Ohio, and I used Google Maps to go to a sushi restaurant, it said, hey, during this time, there is usually a crowd. There's usually a wait. Would you like us to call for reservations for you? And I said, yes. By the time I got there, it had texted me that it had made a reservation. I walked into that restaurant like freaking Richard Gere in Pretty Woman. And they thought I had a personal assistant. They thought they were talking to my personal assistant. It was a mom and pop sushi shop. I got such good treatment in there. And that was all from AI. That was Google. And it was 100% integrated to where I didn't have to think about it. And would I pay for that? 100% yes. If I had a personal assistant where I needed to schedule a plane flight, you know, I was watching, what was it? I was watching some, it was the Menendez brothers. And the guy, the father, I did grow up with the Menendez brothers, by the way. Full disclosure, yes. I had some interactions with the Menendez brothers before they killed their parents. I may have seen them during the time after they killed their parents and before they went to jail. I may have. I don't know. Don't quite remember, but I may have because of Chuck's Cafe in Princeton, and Lyle owned it. But yeah, I definitely had some. But I was watching that on Netflix, and essentially the father runs out of his office. He was the CEO of RCA Records or something. And he runs out of his office. He said, book me a flight to New Jersey. They lived in LA. Book me a flight to New Jersey to his secretary. If I could do that to a personal assistant that's on my phone, am I going to pay $100 a year? You bet I'm going to pay $100 a year to take that annoyance out of my life where I don't have to make reservations for a hotel, for a plane. It's going to know my price preference. It's going to know my frequent flyer miles. It's going to know which airport I want to take out of. It's going to know which car rental company. It's going to know which hotels I like. That is very, very close to happening. And who's going to own that? Is it going to be Apple because it's on the device? Is it going to be Meta because they have the glasses? They have some other device that could do that for you as you're just walking down the street? Is it going to be Google because most people use Google Maps? You know, who is it going to be? I think those are the top three companies that we're seeing right now. I think Microsoft has an outlier chance, and it's because of their integration with OpenAI. If you're in a Word document and you're trying to create a graphic for something that you're doing, that's where you're going to use OpenAI. That's where you're going to use Copilot. That's where Microsoft has the advantage. But I would argue that I think Apple, Meta, and Google have the best opportunities there. Let's talk about some earnings, okay? Key takeaways from yesterday. And that's my rant. That's just my rant. Key takeaways from Costco's earnings yesterday. It was a mixed, wasn't great. You know, you're down below 900. You're down 3% today. I think you come down more. I said it, I didn't want to buy this one at the high prices. You're down at, let's see, 879. Let's see if we can find some support there. I think you're looking probably at about 800 as support. If you come down, your first level is going to be this volume bar right here at about 850. Okay? There's some good volume support there. I think that's your first level. Ironically, that's where your 200-day is as well. You can see this trend line that we posted yesterday. Boy, where's it going down to? That trend line from yesterday. I didn't draw this today. I drew this yesterday when this started coming down. Where are we going to be? Well, I touched 3 points. And look at, ironically, that trend line where it's at. That trend line right there is at about 870. We're at 880 right now. But the low of today, 874. So I'd argue you might have a chance to buy this one cheaper. Again, it was a mixed bag. It's not bad. This is the history of Costco's Q3 revenue each year since 2006. This shows you how it's so hard that once you get to a certain level of revenue, it's so hard to continue growing. Because you can see 1 billion there, 2006 to 2007, 3 billion from 2007 to 2008. If you put percentage terms on this 1 billion in 2006 to 2007 is far bigger than the 1 billion from 2023 to 2024. And the reason is because it's from 19 to 20 instead of 78 to 79. Figure out that math. That's why it continues to get harder. Okay? And that's what you have to do. Again, it's Friday. We're not buying anything today. We're going to wait until next week. We're going to wait to buy some stuff next week. I was waiting till this week. We didn't see a pullback this week. We saw continued strength. You know, China said, hold my beer. We're going to double down. And that just pushed the markets up. Am I okay sitting in cash right now? Yeah, my bond fund still gives me 5% until October. In October, it starts going down to 4%. So September 27th, I'm fine holding it until the end of October. I want to start whittling that down. And I don't care if I buy higher, but at all-time highs, I'm kind of just a little bit, I don't want to be Bob. I don't want to be Bob. So let's talk about something else. This is a bonus section of the podcast. So commodities are something that you can trade, okay? This is the commodity price over the last year. Cocoa, coffee, gold, silver, copper, zinc, aluminum, lumber, USCPI. You can Google, literally, go to Google Gemini and just type in, is there an ETF that trades cocoa? I'm not going to do it here. You go and do your own freaking work. But just understand there are ways to play these things. So when you see corn is up 150%, corn is up 150% over 1 year. If that's the case, I guarantee you there's an ETF that trades it. If there's money to be made, Wall Street is finding a way to make the money. Okay? Let's go to social requests from YouTube. This is Espen Johansson. Thanks for giving us so much insights. Do you have any views on Reddit stock? Aren't there a lot of potential for it right now? Okay, we're going to look at the chart for Reddit because it's important to understand the chart. And I will tell you, remember, this was an IPO recently. So you don't have all of your moving averages yet. That's why I don't like trading an IPO, because I like to know, am I under the 50-day or over the 50-day? Right now, you are well over the 50-day. Well, what trend line does the 200-day on the 4-hour have? You don't have a 200-day on the 4-hour yet. And if you go to the weekly chart, you have even less. You don't have a 50-day. So while these Bollinger Bands look decent, I don't know what the stock is going to do. So let's go and look at some of the fundamentals. And that's where we use Seeking Alpha. Now, Reddit, it's not covered by the quant, most likely because it's an IPO. There's not enough information out there, but you can read all of these. We took Michael Wiggins. He did a great job on AppLovin. He says buy it. And when did he say buy? He said September 19th. He's up 3.6% on that one since he said buy. He goes over exactly what you're looking for, Espen. Exactly. He goes over the revenue growth. He goes over the projections. He goes over everything. And he's got a strong buy on it. He did really well with AppLovin. So if you want to know what to do with Reddit, you can kind of take a look at Seeking Alpha and look at it. The fundamentals, the valuation, they're not making money. Their growth, 36% revenue growth year over year. That's not great. It is significantly better than the sector. Momentum, your 3-month performance, you're up 4%. 6 months, you're up 2%. Since that, you're up over 1 month, you're up 14%. The S&P is only up 2%. 6 months, you're up 2%. The S&P is up 10%. So your time frame matters. You can trade it. The 4-hour algorithm, we can run the 4-hour algorithm on here. You make 20% versus if you bought and held, again, it's only been out for 6 months. But if you bought and held, you made 33%. And right now, it got you in at 60. Okay, it's got a 75% win rate. Your average win is 8%. So the 4-hour right now does pretty well. So you have to, A, find your strategy. B, you have to do your research. And for IPOs, there's just not a lot of data out there for you to do research. So I would say just count on the Seeking Alpha analysts. When you go over here, you can see there's a ton of freaking analysts that write stories on it. And they have more insight than I do. Honestly, I don't use Reddit all that much. If you use Reddit, I would say invest in it. But I don't use it that much. We do have a Reddit group in there. It's not very active. Ryan from Spotfiy, thoughts on Booking, BKNG. So I like Booking. I think they have. I think this is the one that has exposure to Europe. I'm not quite sure, but from a technical standpoint, that's a breakout right there. That's a breakout. You're trading at the top of the Bollinger Band. That's an official breakout. Now, is it due to continue? I don't know. The MACD has gone to 199 before. It's only at 100. The RSI is at 64. Where has it gone before? 72. That's an official breakout from the weekly, from the 4-hour. Everything is a breakout. Is it due for a pullback? I don't know. I mean, is the valuation crazy? We can go and look at it. Are people getting back into it? The valuation's nuts. The quant says it's a hold. The PE is 25. We talk about how Apple's at a 30 PE. Can this one go higher? Probably. Completely. I mean, you look at the growth. They're growing 15% revenue year over year. Their levered free cash flow, they're growing at 18.9%. That's huge. So is it due for a pullback? Maybe. We can go and look at what Wall Street says. Wall Street says the average price target is $4,055. That's 5% below where you are today. There's 37 analysts that cover it. They have chased this one up. Every time it seems to hit a new high, they chase it back up. So is it due for a pullback? I'm not buying it at this height. I'm not buying travel stocks, Ryan. If this were a tech stock, I might put my money into it if I knew more about it. Because again, maybe it's got such growth and it's on such a tear that it can continue that path higher. Ultimately, stocks always pull back. Stocks always pull back. It's just about your time frame. Taking in yesterday's kind of time frame. If you're trading this on a weekly because it's a long-term chart or a monthly, it's got significant strength. I wouldn't say that I'm comfortable buying out at the top side of the Bollinger Bands. But every time you've bought at the top end of the Bollinger Bands, it's just continued higher. I would probably wait for a little peak like this and then a little pullback on the next week. And on that pullback, if you get towards that 9-day, you buy it. But is it due for a pullback? Yes. All stocks are always due for a pullback. Whenever you see something like this, at some point in time, it pulls back. So scans, Qualcomm. We went over Qualcomm earlier this week as I thought it was a beaten down stock that had an opportunity to come back. This is just another leg higher. If you bought in here at 165, don't get rid of it. I would say that maybe 175 is a resistance level if you just put something at 175, because look, if you just put something at 175, look at how much resistance you have. How many times you've been at 175 right there. This is March. Then you bumped up in April. Then you came down and you bumped back up in August. Then you came and you bumped back up in September, and now you're right at that. So Qualcomm looks like it could go higher. I'd probably wait until 175 is a support instead of resistance, but it got a cross up. We got UVIXI, we got FNG. I have said this before, and I said it yesterday. I am just a little bit nervous about the fear and greed index being in the greed, near the extreme greed, and with the VIX at 15. This wants to be at 20. So I'm being a little bit conservative right now. I'm trying to wait for some pullbacks on some stocks that I like. I've got my list. Make sure you have your list. If you're in Trendspider, remember, you can get Trendspider and you can set up a list. You can set up your own personal watch list. And then you can set up alerts to say when this strategy triggers me. Maybe it's the 4-hour, maybe it's the 65-minute, maybe it's something else that you like. Maybe it's when the RSI gets to 50. Maybe it's when the RSI gets to 20 and it's oversold and you want to buy that stock. You can set up those alerts in Trendspider. And Trendspider's $50 a month. You sign up here at the Linktree, linktr.ee/daily stock pick. And Trendspider's right here. Sign up for either the standard or the enhanced. I don't use the advanced, but if you're brand new to enhanced and that fits your budget, get it. It includes unlimited one-on-one training from Trendspider. Unlimited one-on-one training for a year. Again, I say it. Unlimited training for 1 year. So if you're brand new and this fits your budget, absolutely get it. Why do you sign up through me? Because when you email me after you sign up, and you're going to go back here and my email's up here on the upper right-hand corner, you get my 4-hour algorithm. You get the 65-minute algorithm. You get all the current watch lists that I have. You get all of the strategies and all of the scanners, the scans that I put at the bottom of the newsletter every day. That all comes from Trendspider, and I give you the opportunity to do it. It's my custom tools that I give to you as a thank you for signing up through me. And you see how successful I am with using this strategy. So if you want to be that successful, again, past performance doesn't predict future performance, but it's worked out pretty well for me. So if you have any questions, hit me up. I will talk to you guys Monday. Tomorrow for paid subscribers, but Monday for everybody else. Okay. Stay safe in the hurricane. As Frankie says, bye-bye. I love Frankie. Okay. That's awesome, Scott. And honestly, I think I'm dumb. I don't think I'm smart. I talk to smart people during the day. And your comment about more smart people in your life, if you find people that have led you down a wrong path, stay away. And that's just life lessons that I've learned a little bit. I'm no older than, some of you guys are older than I am, but I'm pretty normal kind of from a standpoint of age and stuff. Sorry, I'm just looking at some text. So yeah, I listen to smart people. And when somebody leads you down a wrong path or they seem like they are not genuine, I'd probably steer away from them. And that's part of the reason I think, one of my buddy who's a marketing analyst, he said part of the reason you're successful is because you're just genuine and I'm no different on this podcast than I am in real life. I'm a little bit more energetic, I will say that. I am probably a little shyer and a little, I don't know, depends on the situation, I guess. Patty, AI tools are so simple. Go over to gemini.google.com and you'll see an enter prop down here. And there's all kinds of find flights and weather for an upcoming trip, quiz me about science fiction movies, improve the readability of following code, create a travel itinerary for a city. You can do all of that stuff here. And you can see what I kind of, I ask it every now and then. But I can ask, let's see, can you play a TV and 80s sitcom TV trivia game with me? Let's see what it says. Absolutely. What was the name of the wealthy family on the hit sitcom The Cosby Show? The Cosbys? Close. Huxtables. And Cheers, what was the name of the bar where everybody, most of the action took place? Was it Cheers? I don't know. Let's see. You got it. Yes. Who played the lovable dimwit mail carrier Cliff Clavin? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Sam Walton? I know it's not Sam Walton. John Rothenberg. What was the name of the quirky family in Family Ties who had the son from the 1960s? Had a son from the 1960s. Family Ties. Shit, I'm not good at this. But Patty, it's as simple as that. It's kind of like a Google search, but it's just Gemini Google. And if you put the Google app on your phone, you can have access to it. And Microsoft Copilot as well. That gets you ChatGPT before. But it's just having a conversation. That's all it is, Patty. That's all it is. There is nothing more with AI than having a conversation. You can type into diffusion. I think is what it's called. I forget which one. But diffusion, stable diffusion, you can type in text and get out pictures. You can upload a picture to even Canva. I use it every now and then to customize stuff. The Keaton's Family Tie. That's it. Yeah, I mean that's the cool stuff that it has, that it can create stuff like that just on the fly, and you know, create party games. You can create a drinking game. But let's see, Eli Lilly's under 900. Get it? I mean, you're probably going to use that 200-day right there at 870, but at 890, just buy it. Maybe I'll buy one share right now. Do more brownouts and stuff. Okay, it's 10:15. I'm gonna get going. I gotta put this episode together. I will see you guys later. Okay, take care.
Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears.